Christianity has its deep roots in India. It is believed that two of the original apostles of Jesus came to India to spread the new religion, Saint Thomas and Saint Bartholomew. Although many of the Christianity spread after European colonization, there are still many ancient churches from the pre-European colonization time which stand as a witness for India's early Christianity. This is one such church in Kuruvelankad of Kottayam district in Kerala. According to tradition, this church was founded in 105 AD. There are several such ancient churches along the coastal regions of India where trading from Arabia was common. This is believed to be the tomb of St. Thomas the Apostle. Not very far from there lies the Luz Church, the Church of Our Lady of Light, which derives from the Portuguese name Nossa Senhora da Luz, which is one of the oldest European monuments in India. Having its Gothic arches and Baroque ornamentation, it is a must visit place if you get a chance to visit Chennai in the east coast of India. It was built around 500 years ago. Around this time period, the early Europeans in India, in particularly the Portuguese, built several churches both in the east and the west coast of India. Many of them did not survive till today. In some places like Chennai, where many of those ancient churches survived till date. But in this video, I am going to take you to the oldest surviving church of European style in India. To do so, I am going to take you to the west coast of India, to the port city of Kochi in Kerala. Proximity to these strange Chinese fishing nets is the Church of St. Francis Kochi. A sea route from Europe to India by traveling around Africa was discovered by Vasco da Gama, who is also considered as one of the greatest explorers of all time. Landed at Calicut in Kerala in 1498. He was followed by two great explorers, Afonso de Albuquerque and Pedro Alves Cabral, who was the first human in history to ever be in four continents, regarded as the European who discovered Brazil. Both of them initiated to build this church at the Fort Kochi beach. Within the fort, they built a church with a wooden structure which was dedicated to Saint Bartholomew. The original wooden structure is now not there. It may have looked like this particular church in Nagarkoil of Tamil Nadu. This one was built by Saint Francis Xavier, who played a major role in bringing the Catholic religion into the Indian subcontinent. Francisco de Almeida, the Portuguese Indian viceroy, was allowed in 1506 by the Raja of Cochin to reconstruct wooden buildings in stone and masonry. Hence, this church was rebuilt, demolishing the original wooden structure. The Franciscans, which are the group of the religious orders within the Catholic Church, retained control over the church till the Dutch captured Kochi in 1663. While the Portuguese were Roman Catholics and the Netherlands had Catholic and Protestant citizens, the Dutch government and colonists were Protestant. They demolished all the churches except this one. They converted it into a government church. The very original wooden church was dedicated to Saint Bartholomew, and later when it was rebuilt, it was dedicated to Saint Anthony. Hence, the church was originally named as Saint Antonio, the patron saint of Portugal. But when the Dutch invaded, the church had already been dedicated to Saint Francis of Assisi, and hence it got its name as Saint Francis Church. Even though today it is a Protestant church, it still bears its original name as Saint Francis Church, and in 1804 it was voluntarily surrendered to the Anglicans, the British, and hence it belongs to the Church of South India. Now the church is a protected monument under the Archaeological Survey of India, but it is owned by the North Kerala Diocese of the Church of South India. There is regular worship service in the church on all Sundays, and on weekdays it is kept open for visitors and tourists. The interior of the church has a set of tombs on the walls and the floors. The gravestones of both Portuguese and Dutch. There is also a graveyard nearby. Each tell the tales of death of those ancient Europeans on distant shores. The most notable of them all is the tomb of Vasco da Gama, the first European to discover a sea route to India, and he died in Kochi in 1524 on his third visit. He was originally buried in this church for 14 years. After that, his remains were removed to Lisbon in Portugal, where he was celebrated as a national hero. The gravestone of Vasco da Gama can be still seen here, and it is one of the important tourist attractions inside the church. Right behind this church was the residence of Vasco da Gama. His house still stands there as a private residence, and it is one of the oldest Portuguese residences in India. We can imagine after his death how his body might have been carried into the church for the final ceremony. One of the interior features of this church are the hand-operated fans, are also known as pankhas. This is installed during the British period, and it shows the signs of luxury inside the church. Many of the present furnitures were also installed during the British period. This church has been a model of many churches in India. The church has timber-framed roof and covered with tiles. The doors and windows of the church have semicircular arches. The bell tower is divided into three components. The second oldest church of European style is in Goa. Facing several wars and turbulence, this church has survived for more than 500 years now, showing the early days of India's European colonization.